everyone, and welcome to episode 35 of LEADEREVEAL. And today we have with us Dr. Shelette Stewart. Dr. Shelette Stewart has over 20 years of leadership experience as a business practitioner and academician with leading organizations, including the Harvard Business School. Dr. Stewart is also the author of Harvard Business School Cases and the award-winning book, Revelations in Business: Connecting Your Business Plan with God's Purpose and Plan for Your Life, which has been formally endorsed by several industry leaders, including Dan Cathy. Dr. Shelette, welcome to LEADEREVEAL.
Thank you so much, Ranjith, for having me. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
Thank you again. Without much ado, we will dive into what I believe is at the heart of LEADEREVEAL. Could you please share with us a learning or two from your leadership journey that's had a profound impact on you?
Absolutely. And by the way, congratulations on the excellent platform that you have in place. LEADEREVEAL is truly enhancing the lives of so many people. So I'm delighted to be a part of it and to share insights. When I think about my journey, Ranjith, I would say that for me, what's had the most profound impact on my life has been learning a new approach to my career. And I learned that over several years. And the new approach is really around connecting your career with your calling, your profession with your purpose. And that was something that I really did not appreciate as much earlier in my career. I grew up in the church, in my uncle's church. I grew up in a Christian household with my mom and dad and younger brother. And I grew up hearing a mantra that I'm sure many of your audience members can relate to. I grew up hearing, go to school to get a good job, right? Go to school to get a good job. And so that's what I did. I pursued higher education. Most of my background has been serving in leadership roles with Fortune 100 companies like the Coca-Cola Company and AT&T, and also serving in leadership roles as a business academician with Harvard Business School and SMU Cox Executive Education in Dallas. But it was actually during my tenure with the Coca-Cola Company that I started feeling a sense of disengagement or dis-ease. And Coca-Cola is a wonderful company. I highly recommend it. But I was getting to a point where I felt as if I was living below my potential. And I didn't realize it at the time, but what was happening was that I was failing to connect my career with my calling, my profession and purpose. The season with Coca-Cola was coming to an end. There was greater work for me to do. So the key learning in my life has been instead of focusing just on the growing industries or the growing markets to start a business or the most highly compensated positions, the first and foremost, the most important step is really to begin from within and pray and ask God to reveal the calling that He has for you, the purpose that He has for your life, and then connect your career with that. Then pursue an entrepreneurial venture based on that. Then pursue a particular industry based on that. But the key that I learned was to begin with Him and to begin from within. So it really is about, Ranjith, praying, meditating, contemplating our purpose, praying to the God who resides in each and every one of us to find out what that looks like. And I spend quite a bit of time traveling the world, speaking on this topic of connecting career and calling. I just conducted a session for Bosch Corporation. I was just with the top 300 Chick-fil-A operators. You mentioned Dan Cathy, who's the chairman of Chick-fil-A and who endorsed my book. I spend quite a bit of time with faith-based organizations as well as secular organizations, really reinforcing this whole notion of connecting profession and purpose, career and calling. If you think about it, we spend more time at work than we do with our loved ones, right? And our careers consume over half of our lives, over half of our lives. So it's imperative that what we spend most of our waking hours doing for most of our lives is also spiritually edifying. I always say we don't have a personal life and a professional life. We have one life, and we have to make that life count.
Wow. Um, what can I say? I mean, this is very, very enlightening, Dr. Shelette. The reason I say this is because a lot of the times we hear these words used so loosely, purpose, calling, career, and there are times when I personally have looked at a dictionary to understand how well have these words been defined. And sometimes I feel like the lines are so blurry. And one thing that I want to kind of uh, ask you about is when you decided to pursue this new venture. Obviously, you were in a job and there was a transition period. And I'm a firm believer that even if you are moving on to something higher, you've got to still give your best at the place of your current employment, whatever you are doing. How hard was that? And what was the driving force behind it?
Yes, good question. I had the honor of serving as the commencement speaker for Judson University a couple of years ago, and I shared with the graduates the importance of legacy. And what you're alluding to is really legacy, not just end of life legacy, but legacy in terms of before you move from one career opportunity to another career opportunity, or one department to another, one company to another, that previous organization should have somehow been edified as a result of your having been there. And so oftentimes that's one of the indications that it's time to move on, that God is pushing you into a new season. You've completed the assignment. And so when I had the pleasure of serving in leadership roles with the Coca-Cola Company for 10 years, and I started feeling that sense of disengagement, I didn't realize it at the time, but I had completed the assignment. There was greater work for me to do. But at the time, I didn't realize it. So I would pursue a promotional opportunity or take a lateral move, but nothing really quenched that desire, that yearning, until I started heeding the call of God. And the calling at that time was to begin writing a book to help business leaders connect their business plans with their purpose, their career with their calling, so that what we do for a living, we love to do and we're anointed to do. So it's very, very important to complete the assignment, to leave a positive, lasting legacy within that previous organization, and also to pursue the next season. And God will let you know what that looks like and when to have an exit strategy. But the key is for us to be intentional, to be prayerful, to be diligent in hearing from Him.
Dr. Shelette, thank you so much for such an impactful message. It's really speaking to me as well. I'm sure the audience is going to be blessed by this message. So thank you today for being with us on Leader Reveal and feeding the leader in many hearts.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.